What if I told you that the Galata Tower was never meant to impress anyone? Not tourists, not rulers, not even the city itself. It was built to watch. Long before this tower became a symbol of Istanbul, this hill already carried responsibility. From here, the Golden Horn could be seen clearly. Every ship, every sail, every shadow moving on the water. When Genoese merchants settled in this area in the 13th century, they didn't arrive looking for beauty, they arrived looking for control. Trade was everything, and trade meant risk. So in 1348, they made a deliberate choice. They built a massive stone tower at the highest point of their colony. Not elegant, not decorative, but strong. Thick walls, narrow openings, a position that allowed them to see danger long before danger could see them. From the top of this tower, guards tracked ships entering the harbor, protected valuable trade routes, and signaled threats before they reached the city. This wasn't a monument, it was a survival tool, a strategic eye watching over the sea. And that purpose shaped everything that came after. Because when a building is born to observe, to endure, and to protect, it doesn't disappear easily. Empires changed, flags changed, beliefs changed, but the tower remained. And at this point, a question naturally follows. Who were these Genoese? After all, this was Byzantine Constantinople. So, how did an Italian power end up building a tower here? The answer lies in trade and in politics. By the late Middle Ages, the Byzantine Empire was no longer the unstoppable power it was once. It needed allies, ships, money, and protection. The Genoese, coming from the city of Genoa in northern Italy, were exactly that: master sailors, sharp merchants, and one of the strongest maritime powers of the Mediterranean. The Byzantines allowed them to settle across the Golden Horn in an area called Pera in exchange for military and economic support. Officially, this land still belonged to Byzantium, but in reality, the Genoese ran it like their own city. They built walls, they controlled trade, and they wanted a tower that would dominate both land and sea. They even gave it a name that carried a message: Christia Turris, the Tower of Christ. This name wasn't chosen by accident. It tells us something important. The tower was not only a military structure, it was a religious and political statement. By naming it after Christ, the Genoese were saying, "We are Christians, we're powerful, we're here to stay." From the Byzantine side of the city, this tower was impossible to ignore. It stood taller than anything around it, a constant reminder that another power was watching, trading, and growing stronger just across the water. So yes, the Byzantines were still there, but the Genoese didn't arrive as invaders. They arrived as partners and slowly became rivals. And the Galata Tower was their signature. Then came 1453. When the Ottomans entered Constantinople, the Galata Tower was still standing. Many people assume it survived simply by luck, but that's not true.
I did not destroy the tower, because I understood its value the moment I saw it. Galata surrendered without resistance. There was no rebellion, no bloodshed, and therefore no reason for punishment. I'm a conqueror, yes, but conquest is not only about destruction, it is about judgment. A strategist does not erase what can serve the future. This tower sees the Golden Horn, the Bosphorus, and the city itself. To destroy it would be to blind Istanbul, so I let it stand. Not as a symbol of the Genoese, but as a tool of the empire.
But there was something deeper. The Ottomans didn't aim to erase the past, they aimed to absorb it. Churches became mosques, fortifications became part of a new defense system, and the Galata Tower became Ottoman without needing to be rebuilt from scratch. The cross at the top was removed, not violently, but symbolically. The tower kept standing, but its meaning changed. Under Ottoman rule, Galata Tower was no longer a Genoese statement. It became an Ottoman tool. It served as a prison, then as a warehouse for the imperial shipyards, and eventually as one of the most important fire watch towers in the city, in a wooden Istanbul. This tower saved lives. That alone justified its existence. Sometimes the strongest statement is not destruction, but control. And then the tower stopped watching and became a launch point. In the 17th century, during the reign of Sultan Murad IV, a man named Hezarfen Ahmet Çelebi climbed to the top. He wasn't a magician. He wasn't a myth. He was a curious mind. He studied birds, wind, balance. According to the traveler Evliya Çelebi, Hazarfen strapped wooden wings to his arms and waited for the right wind. People gathered below, unsure whether they were about to witness genius or tragedy. Then he jumped. He didn't fall. He glided. Carried by the wind, he crossed the Bosphorus and landed in Üsküdar, on the Asian side of Istanbul. Was it exaggerated? Possibly. But the story survived because Galata Tower had already become a place where imagination felt possible. And imagination gives birth to legends. One of them says that if two people climb the Galata Tower together for the first time, their path will remain connected. Love, marriage, destiny. But only once. Because magic, they say, doesn't repeat itself. And maybe that's why the Galata Tower is still remembered, not just as stone and history, but as a place that makes people look up and quietly ask, what if?